as we get 3 red lights. And we're racing at Spa. Everyone's sliding quite a bit of contact already, and I think that's Andrew off into the grass, and a bit more contact, and two cars facing backwards. And I think that's a safety car already.
Before turn 1 was even finished. That is a new record. So, as they go into the final sector now. Oh, that looks like Michael sending it on Cuckoo.
Does he commit?
No, he's braking extra early. He's been overtaken by Cuckoo's teammate and hit in the back.
Goes over
the track, but to avoid an illegal overtake does give the position to the Ferrari and the car behind as well. That's Joseph going through.
Michael dropping multiple positions in one corner.
Yeah, it was not the cleanest of racing as we see another driver get rear-ended there. I'm surprised that these wings are staying on. They've got super glue on these cars. Better exit as there's more overtaking going on just ahead of Gillish here. That's Joseph fighting it out with Michael. I think Michael's still not recovered from that incident on the previous lap. Now Gillish going around the outside of Joseph. Gillish up into P8 from P16. He's had a good opening few laps. As you can all see them go through Pujon now, one of the toughest corners to do in dirty air. A little further ahead as well, Cuckoo sending it down the inside of Tomba. Oh, there's barely any space.
Sliding it through there, a bit of contact, a bit of rubbing there. But making the move up into P4.
Yeah,
and sends it.
Yeah, there's just no space into the old bus stop to go side by side.
I'm so happy they changed this corner because it makes the cars go single file, and everyone knows that single file in racing is for Monaco. As Gillis shoves it down the inside, almost has to go to the escape road and almost takes out Eddie there. That was incredibly close.
Yeah, Eddie was about to become a victim there, but luckily was just barely far enough ahead to not get absolutely torpedoed. Oh, and just up ahead, that's Tomba and Mammoth fighting it out for third.
Tomba and Mammoth, yeah. No, it's Tomba and
Cuckoo. I'm always confused by the freaking layout of this game. It should be reversed. But yeah, Tomba there getting the move done on Cuckoo, so this position having swapped hands multiple times already. Great racing by the pair of them. Just behind, doesn't make a mistake, and I think the opponent actually has made a mistake here. That's given Fennec the inside line into the bus stop, but he doesn't risk it on the brakes. Of course, lockups in this car, incredibly painful for your race. So he plays it safe and thinks better of it. Let's go down into turn 1 of the hairpin.
Yeah,
crucial exit here.
He's also got to think about Escher behind, and he's always been, I think, one of the quickest drivers through Rouge and Radion, but I think that is down to potentially setup because his top end doesn't seem to be there as he goes side by side. We've seen this multiple times, he just doesn't have the top end. I think Escher as well might get involved here, has such a momentum, decides to back out, and Fennec making a move around the outside. Can he get the car stopped? He does, and Fennec, we finally see Fennec make a move there where he has failed so many times.
What a shame though. That would have been the move of the race if Escher had pulled that off. I think realistically he could have claimed that inside line and then the others would have had to concede the position. But Escher deciding to play it extra safe behind Joseph and Gillish going side by side once again. Never mind, Gillish is dropping behind a bit on the straight. Oh! Definitely really rubbing there.
Very much poking his nose. Doesn't make the overtake. I think maybe lifting, knowing that there was a bit of a cheeky move, but he does try to move down here. Later on the brakes, does he miss the apex? No, he nails it and gets past Joseph.
Got that move there a lot less cheeky and more by the book, so good move from Gillish. Joseph probably not too happy with what transpired at the end of the Camel though. Is that for slicks already? The game's showing us wet. We can't trust the game, we know that much. Oh my word!
Was that... Were you... I wasn't the only one who saw that, right?
No, I had the exact same thing on my end, but the tires did magically appear after a few seconds, so don't worry, we won't have to penalize this team for that one. But that was quite remarkable to say the least.
Case has just come out in front of Tomahawk, so I guess we're going to find out of what's better, the slicks or the wet tires.
I mean, this sector does seem quite dry, even though there's still a little bit of rain coming down. As you can see, a bit of spray in the corner as well. It's risky. He's gone off track.
And I think we might have just managed to get our answer there.
Yeah, so it's maybe 1 or 2 laps too early for the slicks, as he's been overtaken by Tomba. That is 4th position. Of course, Tomba will have to pit for slicks at some point, but if it really is too early, then Keza could well drop a few more seconds behind. Although in this little section of corners, he is staying with him.
Yeah, he seems to have got a better
Look at the
exit
traction
as well.
he's got. Yeah, he's crazy on the straights actually, which is not what I was expecting. And in Pouhon as well, double left-hander. You need a lot of tire grip, and he's looking very planted in the dirty air, no less.
Can't go offline though. If he goes offline to try and make a overtake, that could be a lot of water on the inside. So I think he's going to be hoping that Tomahawks is the one who goes offline. He does. But can Kaiser look? He's just parking it everywhere, but doesn't park it well enough. It's Kaiser up into P2, regaining that position.
Going down the straight, Michael getting the double slipstream, turns into a single slipstream as they're side-by-side head. A double slipstream again. And just look at the speed difference.
It's down into the right-hand. Wild Mammoth able to hold on to P6. Gillis relentlessly on the attack.
And that's once again Gillis being overzealous with that nose of his car, and he's taken out Mammoth.
That was
now down to 10.
Very, very ambitious move.
I'm edging ahead of Marks. Whichever one has the inside line will have the better line into the corner. That is in fact Tomba. He had the right line to defend it. Marcus continues to fight it through the second sector. Has a look into Bruxelles corner, and Tomba's gone deep.
Yeah, but he's going to have the inside to the next corner, and side by side they go. Tomba missing his apex just by a bit, and Marcus having to hang it around the outside. Michael is slow and gets overtaken by Marcus. Yeah, we've watched this battle from afar now to see how close Marcus really can get to the back of Tomahawks as they head up Arouge and through Radion.
He did back up a little bit before Eau Rouge to give himself a better run out of it, but he underestimated how slow Tomba would be. He's already pulling alongside again, but it's going to be the outside line at the end of the Camel. Not the best for overtaking, but he's going to try it.
Side by side they go again. Tomahawk's still there on the outside, but Marcus just making the move into the next corner, having the inside line and going up into P3. Getting such a better exit off that, and I think they're definitely going to be looking for a move as they absolutely eat up all the slipstream of Eddie as they go side by side through this very fast left-hand corner. Eddie able to hold it since he had the inside line. Does Cuckoo look for a dive into the bus chicane? They don't.
And that would have been a horrendous crash if Cuckoo hadn't pulled out. Eddie, of course, you're going to understeer in that corner anyway, and it's no different.
Cuckoo down the inside.
Horrendous exit out of the bus stop for Eddie, and an easy overtake for Cuckoo. So a bit less of a battle than we expected. Perhaps Eddie just struggling for traction on those rears.
Eddie, it does now have the slipstream going through the longest straight on the circuit. Cuckoo.
He does.
Takes it defensive. Eddie a lot more top end, but they're still only side by side. Cuckoo with the inside line. Do they break later? No, they break about the same, and they kept keeping it side by side. Still a bit of contact. I think that was netcode contact there, but Cuckoo able to keep P5 from Eddie. There's Michael getting the inside line. That's absolutely crucial if he wants to be making an overtake, because that inside line easily as you get through. But Wild Mammoth following very closely, side by side into the bus stop chicane. Oh, and Wild Mammoth just holding it ahead.
Yeah, that was a surprisingly aggressive comeback there from him. I mean, speaking of emotions, Eddie's just lost a position to Joseph, but he's got a good run out of Radion again. The top two only 2/10 apart as well, so keep an eye on that. trying to re-overtake Joseph. You got Gillish just behind in the slipstream. Can he do anything about that? And Eddie gets the position back around the outside. Great move from Eddie.
As leaders now coming through the final corners. They're in Sector 3. The two Benetton teammates. Are they going to risk it? Is Matt's going to try and make a move into the final chicane? He's later on the brakes, but just isn't close enough to make a move. It's going to be very difficult if he wants to find anything here. He's basically pushing Ultimate Kaiser through the corners. They go almost side by side across the line, as that's Ultimate Kaiser across the line to win round 5 of the Formula V12 League at Spa.
That was a tremendous finish there, as Mammoth ending up having to pit anyway, but I think it's not going to make a difference because he's just been lapped. So Mammoth going to be finishing around about P12, or is he? Oh, what's happening to his car? Anyway, the race still going on for Marcus. He crosses the line in 3rd place. A great recovery drive from him. Tomahawks down in 4th. Cuckoo on their own in P5 at the moment. Eddie's still under a lot of pressure, though, from Joseph. Gillish is basically pulled out of this fight. It's a 2-horse race now for P6.
Does Joseph look for a move? Eddie going defensive through the final corners. I think he's going to be able to just secure P6. And I say that as Joseph just gets the momentum out the corner, and I think he's just taken him at the line.